Alrighty guys, today I am doing Monday Night Raw, February 23rd, 2015 review. I'm also going to be talking about some other things because this Raw was very bad. There was nothing much to even talk about on this video for this. Bottom line is, I just don't see how Raw was a good build-up for the first night to building up towards WrestleMania. It was really bad. They did not have any severe build-up between Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. It looks like they're working together instead of being enemies. I mean, even though it looks like they're, starting to build a creative idea where they're going to explode against each other eventually, leading up to WrestleMania. But why? What would be the point of that? They literally destroyed Randy Orton, taking him off WWE programming. So what's the point in doing all that? So bottom line is, the whole thing was a bland thing. They had a good promo between Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. I liked the professionalism between the two and how they had those two doing, shaking hands, having respect for one another after everything they went through with each other in that match Sunday night. But really, to be honest with you, I really wonder if Daniel Bryan meant anything he really said to Roman Reigns in that storyline. Not meaning his character, but himself technically. I wonder if when he said all those things, he really felt that he earned his respect in reality. Like, okay, well, storyline-wise, you beat me, but reality is reality. You suck, I'm better. I should be wrestling in the WrestleMania main event match with Brock Lesnar, not you. You don't have the capabilities I do. Kind of attitude. I don't know if he really meant any of those things. So I kind of wonder if that was true, or he was saying those words part of his script, but also on account of the fact he really felt that way about it. If he didn't, he did a very good acting job, because he made me believe that he felt that this guy has, the skill to possibly put on a good match. Despite the fact his wrestling ability, he might feel that, yeah, I did my job. I helped him do what he needed to do to get better, to look good enough to face Brock Lesnar, and maybe he is ready to face Brock and actually have a real match like he did with me, kind of thing. So, bottom line is, I really am kind of sick and tired of all the Roman Reigns haters. I think it's a little overdone. I mean, granted, yeah, the guy has a lot of work ahead of him to be able to be at the level that he needs to be a main eventer and be ready for that spot. But, what are they, at this point, outside of doing the same run-on thing by having Daniel Bryan be in the main event, what else can you go with at this point besides Roman Reigns? They're the two biggest commodities. They're the only two guys that were deserving of winning the Royal Rumble. And honestly, I felt that Daniel Bryan definitely had a lot more credibility to be the Royal Rumble winner than Roman Reigns. Reason why is real simple. You have a man who won the World Championship last year at WrestleMania, put on an excellent show, and was fantastic. He had an unfortunate injury that kept him out of action. WWE tried to keep the belt on him, but because of his injury being so severe, they had to strip him of the belt. So, at that point you would think, hey, perfect storyline. He got injured. He's back. He's still got fans behind him. Have him win the Royal Rumble, face Brock Lesnar, win the championship. That would be the best. That would have been the best deal. Roman Reigns was very similar. And, it was very similar, but it was very different at the same time. Roman Reigns never won a championship belt, the WWE title. He has had, critics say that he can't wrestle worth a damn, which is very true. He can't. He's not the best wrestler that he could be. I feel that he could be a whole lot better than what he is if he puts more effort and time and, wanting to be a better wrestler than what he is now. So, you know, it just seems that it was the wrong decision, and I agree with people that say that, but after a match that he had with Daniel Bryan, you can't deny the fact that he has some sort of credibility to be in this main event with Brock Lesnar, regardless of the fact that Daniel Bryan still is the better wrestler than Roman Reigns is, okay? So yeah, I definitely agree with a lot of people, but I also disagree at the same time, because Roman Reigns earned some of my respect. He definitely put on a better show than he ever has before. He still has a long way to go, and yet I don't think giving him the title at WrestleMania would be the best choice. And that's the reason. He ain't ready yet to hold that belt. He ain't ready to be a main eventer yet. The best thing they could do for him is make him lose to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar keeps the title and loses it at SummerSlam. That's the only thing I can think of that would be the best decision. The only other guy that they could go with this idea of, you know, dropping the belt from Brock Lesnar to someone else would be Seth Rollins. He's got good wrestling ability. People like him. They find him, you know, very good in the ring, and he's a good heel. Bottom line, that's really it. He does have a few things I have complaints about still, and that's, you know, he's a weak heel. He's not a guy that, you know, will go out and kick someone's ass, use weapons, things of that sort. My type of heel that I think of is like a Triple H or a Chris Jericho. Yeah, they did dirty tactics. They did, you know, act like they were weak and stuff, but at the same time, they also fought like they had, you know, passion, strength, you know, confidence in themselves, even though they were bad guys and would win at any cost to win. So I get that, but Seth Rollins doesn't have that kind of quality like Triple H or Chris Jericho or even The Rock or you know, The Undertaker for that matter. He was a bad guy at one point in time, and he wasn't scared or weak or anything in the storylines that he's done as a heel. He was pretty much a badass. And that's what I look for in a heel. I mean, if you want a heel, yeah, he's got to still have confidence in himself. If he can't win because the guy won't just stay down, then eventually, yeah, he finally snaps, he cheats, and he does whatever it's possible to win the match because he wants to stay the champion or become the champion. So I totally understand that, but Seth Rollins still needs to get rid of that weak, no confidence in himself kind of characteristic in his heel. And that all depends on the storyline writers, the creatives, and that's where all the problem lies in WWE. It's not the wrestlers, it's not, you know, the people that work for the company that do the in-ring stuff, it's not them. They don't really have a weak roster, to be honest with you. It's them, the creative. They're the weak part, they're the weak link in WWE. That's where they need to be more focused on, not the wrestlers. The wrestlers have the capability. They got Dean Ambrose. They have Wade Barrett, Sheamus. You know, the list goes on and on with these guys. They got talent, and they're good, and they can put on a good show when they want to. It's just they don't because of what creative does. And when you do that, they have no control over that except breaking the rules, which would be kind of cool if they actually did that. It would be better. But then again, it would also lead to them having problems with Vince, and they don't want that kind of bullshit. Not that I blame them. They'd lose their job. So, I mean, they have to follow the boundaries of what's given to them in the script and what they're supposed to do in the ring. And that's the problem with creative. They're the ones that are messing this show up, not the wrestlers. They have all the talent they need. And they're continuously building more and more new talent, throwing it in there. And they're doing an excellent job of that. It's their storyline writers. That's it, bottom line. Now, some interesting things to talk about here in this video is I also found out Brock Lesnar is pretty pissed off at Vince. Now, I have no idea specifically what that information is. It's based off of Dave Metzler. from the Wrestling Observer, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard of his name and has been thrown around for reports on behind the scenes wrestling. He's said that Brock Lesnar has been extremely pissed off at Vince McMahon. That's why he wasn't even used on Monday Night last night. That was one of the major things I couldn't even believe. He wasn't even on the freaking show and he was being advertised. So that explains a lot. So this could be really wild. Maybe Brock Lesnar walks out like CM Punk. I mean, if that happens, WrestleMania is going to be kind of in shambles if you think about it. But then again, it might be even interesting if you take a look at this, because then you have the title off Brock Lesnar. The title's vacated. You find a new contender for the WWE title to compete against Roman Reigns. And boom, you can put you put Daniel Bryan in the ring again with Roman Reigns for even a much bigger prize. I think that would be an excellent freaking WrestleMania main event. Those two guys they did an excellent job at that pay-per-view this past Sunday. If it wasn't for that match, bottom line, it would have sucked. Really, really bad. I mean, it would have been 1 out of 10 stars in my opinion. But because of the tag team title match and the U.S. title in that match, it made the pay-per-view a little bit worth watching for what it was and everything else. Monday Night Raw, getting back to that, since I've kind of gone off track and talked a little bit about other things. This show made no sense. It really didn't. There was no logical reasoning behind any of this. Randy Orton joins with the Authority again. Looked like he was planning on doing a sneak attack type of thing with Seth Rollins, and it turned out to be nothing. He RKO's one of the Jamie Noble, and then you think maybe he's going to attack Seth Rollins, and instead he doesn't. Okay, that was ridiculous. Made no sense. He picked him up, shook his hand, and walked away. Like nothing. And I'm like, what's going on here? I was expecting him to attack him, not shake his hand and then walk off. Makes no sense. What kind of build-up is that for a WrestleMania match? You have them explode on each other and build on promos and interaction that they have, or confrontations that they have with each other throughout the rest of the month leading into WrestleMania. How are they going to really get a strong, match out of this? This is like dumb as shit. Makes no sense. It's pointless. So, Daniel Bryan, he's another thing. He's kind of floating around in limbo here. I mean, he's got nothing going for him. There's no opponent right now. They keep advertising Sheamus. He hasn't shown up yet. Daniel Bryan's got really no opponent. Last night we looked like we're gonna get a match for a fatal 4-way for the not for the United States title, the Intercontinental Championship with Wade Barrett's title. I mean, so Dolph Ziggler's involved in all that, especially after the win and show that he put on with him. It really just looks like Daniel Bryan's stuck with nothing to do, and the only other person they could tie him with is Sheamus. That's it, bottom line. And really, to be honest with you, who the hell wants to see Daniel Bryan face Sheamus? I mean, Daniel Bryan's faced Sheamus twice, and one other time on a pre-show that was never even shown to the audience. It was for the United States Championship and WrestleMania 27, and we never got to see that anyway, but who really cares? These two have they've fought each other 3 times already, and it's not that great of a rivalry. I really didn't care for it. After that debacle they did in WrestleMania 28 for the World Heavyweight title, which shouldn't even have been the main event. I mean, Sheamus, or not the main event, the very first match on the show, Sheamus won the Royal Rumble. That should have been close to the end of the program anyway. But he wins in 18 seconds. Like, what kind of match is that? I mean, it's like they're like pretty much saying, fuck you, Brian, we don't care, and go fuck off. you know? And that's what they're doing now. They're telling him basically, fuck you, we're just going to throw you with Sheamus now, and hopefully he rips your fucking head off, and probably that's what they're going to do in the script. They're going to make him lose to, Sheamus. Another news also, we were expecting, I've heard in behind the scenes news, that Undertaker was supposed to make an appearance and make a statement about the challenge Bray Wyatt made. No nothing. No nothing from Undertaker. Supposedly their whole idea is they're not going to make Undertaker say a word until WrestleMania and show up at WrestleMania and have the match. Yeah, that's right. He ain't going to say a fucking word until WrestleMania. And he ain't even going to say a word. He's going to just show up, have the match. What kind of fucking build-up is that? No interaction between the two characters? Just Bray Wyatt mumbling bullshit. And just saying crap about how, oh, the Undertaker's no longer a monster anymore. It's just another human being like you or I. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on, man. Wake the hell up. What are you trying to sell here? You're not selling anything. You're selling bullshit. I would rather see the Undertaker make an appearance, state what what his response is, and figure out why the hell Bray Wyatt wants him so damn much. I mean, what? Because he lost to Brock Lesnar? Big fucking deal. It doesn't... again, as I've mentioned several times in this video, it don't make any sense. Make sense. Then people can appreciate your show. If you don't want to make sense, then what the fuck are you doing? Don't even have a show. Just throw some random matches on, have no program, and just, give us championship matches and shit that go nowhere, It's just win-lose. That's it. Period. Done. And that's what I can't stand anymore about WWE. They just keep giving us bullshit. They're not giving us a real story build-up. They're not giving us what they used to give us as an audience. And, sitting here and complaining about it ain't going to do anything. The only thing that's going to change anything is what those people do with their company. And if they want to keep doing what they're doing, specifically pointed at Vince McMahon, then, hey, you do what you want to do. We'll do what we want to do. If we want to go to your show and terrorize it and turn it into shit, great. I'd love to hear people doing that shit. I think it's funny as hell. And then the wrestlers and the people in the storyline are just going, they're just having a good time. No, they're not. They hate your show. They think it sucks. But here's a word to throw out to you people. If you think the show sucks so damn badly, why are you watching it? Why are you there? What the hell are you doing? What's the point? Me personally, my answer to that question, that probably a casual fan would say to me, I would answer saying this. I'm a WWE fan through and through. No matter what they do, I'm still going to like, I'm still going to like the product. I'm going to like the company. I want it to get better. I don't want it to be shit, but hey, there's nothing much I can do except what I'm doing here. And, that's really where it lies at this point. So, good luck with WWE. I hope they do better. But bottom line is, I'd like to see a company come up out of the woodwork and become something like WWE is and give them a competition, because at that point, they'd have to think, alright, we gotta start getting our shit together, we're gonna be out of business this time. Because I'm telling you what, there are a lot of good companies out there, they just aren't getting enough revenue to get them to where, WWE is. I mean, ROH, New Japan, they're starting to become noticeable in the United States of America. I've actually went ahead and I've been watching their some of their matches. I think they're very talented superstars and they have very good wrestling ability. They put WWE to shame in wrestling capability. I don't know about the storylines because the announcers speak in Japanese. Kind of hard to tell what the fuck's going on if you don't speak Japanese. So, that kind of leaves me a little, stuck and not knowing what the hell's going on. But match quality, they give a great show. ROH, they're a decent enough show. I think they could eventually do something. I don't know. Samoa Joe, by the way, is in ROH at this point. He might, do great in there in comparison to what he's done in TNA the last few years. He's been shit. But not going off topic here, because I know I've done that. WWE is really have gone in shambles, in my opinion. And I don't doubt anyone couldn't agree with me on this, because it's true. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They can't plan anything out correctly. They're totally disorganized. They used to be a very organized company that knew where they were going, what their path was, and what they needed to do to execute to get to that path. Now it's just... Here's the reason why. Real simple. It's real simplistic. You're doing too much. You got too many shows. You got too many hours to fill. Too many scripts to write. It takes 1 minute to one... one page equals 1 minute for each minute that you do. So, if you add all the hours up that they do for SmackDown, Raw, WWE Superstars, even the main event, WWE main event, if they're still doing that, I'm not even certain. I don't even pay attention to the WWE Network's live programming for those two events, so I don't really care for either one of them. I can always check, though. You got like close to 400 pages, maybe even more, alright? That's a lot of stuff to write in 1 week. So you're basically writing Harry Potter books for every week. I mean, you're going to be really disorganized. Back in the old days, when Austin and Triple H wrestled, you got 2 programs, SmackDown and Raw, and Velocity and Sunday Night Heat. And the shows were 2 hours, the SmackDown and Raw, and, Velocity and Heat was 1 hour for both of those. That's, a lot less than what they're doing now. So, and they didn't have NXT. That's another thing you gotta add in there, too. NXT, they do storylines, but that's on the side that Triple H works on. So, I mean, you got a lot of stuff that's going on at one time, and it's just so much freaking stuff to do at once. How could you be organized? How can you be ready to put on a decent show and put effort into it? There's too much thinking involved. There's too much shit to do. So, get real. Get back to the old basics that you had and leave this shit behind you, because it ain't working. It's garbage. So, that's pretty much my rant about all of this. WWE's Raw, plain and simple. I know I didn't get deep into depth about this this episode, but it was really horrible. Check it out yourself if you want to waste your time. I wouldn't recommend it. It's really pretty much garbage. But if you don't believe me, check it out, and you won't be surprised by why I wasn't in depth about this episode. Anyway, click that subscribe button. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Have a great night. Bye.